righty. Oh, tell me, how has been the experience of your energy in your life in the last few weeks?
It's been challenged. I had a death in the family, and so I had to go down to the coast for 2 weeks unexpectedly, cancel my clients and go be there. I had a family member commit suicide, and she has 3 kids, and so I had to go and be an auntie and just be a support person and help. But I did the journaling most days. I've missed a few days, but I kept it up even when I was
Fantastic.
down there. I can't go back and look at the videos yet. Um, and my girlfriend broke up with me while I was down there during this crisis state, which was terrible. So I really had a lot of things going on. So I'm tired now, but I just got out of a team meeting and I usually feel, better after meeting with people. I started rewriting my CEO role and the things that are really important for me to do, the things that are important to delegate, getting my other team members in there. Um, and Marielle is working on her role, and my sales gal, she's working on her role. So I'm like really getting clear on the different
Great.
roles that people are doing.
Yes.
I'm hiring a new marketing person. And so creating like a better, more cohesive team.
Yes.
And and I'm stepping back from the guilt of having free time. This is a big one because
Ooh.
it's like I've been sort of programmed culturally, like you have to work a certain number of hours. If you're not working a certain number of hours, you're slacking off and blah, blah, blah. You're not being productive and recognizing like the role that I'm in now, it's a different energy output and
Yes.
it's got different requirements and it works well with my personality. Like I'm naturally oriented, I can tell, into being a CEO because I'm a good leader. I'm good at like hiring smart people who are good at what they do,
And the right people.
the right people, creating a strong team and needing time to vision and be creative and that having that like open time. And then when it's go time, like getting focused and putting the energy in. And so it's a different rhythm than when you're just a worker, because when you're just a worker, you just show up for your number of hours, you do the work and then you go home again. And so I'm like reorienting myself to actually giving myself permission to be a
Right.
CEO and have the workflows that that entails.
And allowing yourself that space to be the leader that you are meant to be now, which has a different role, responsibilities, recalibration energetically within the way that you think, the way you feel, and how you take action. The requirements are different than what you've had up until now.
It is. It is. And there's a part of me that feels like, am I slacking off because I didn't sit down at my computer for 4 hours this morning? I was, doing things around the house or I was, walking or something. But my brain is going or I'm creating space for like downloads to happen.
Yes.
Uh and so I'm having to like this is what I mean by giving myself permission to
Yes.
have the space and not put judgments on it or not feel um
Guilty.
guilty, yeah, or like I'm not being productive or uh
You're not doing
I
what's
have this.
expected within yourself.
That's right. That's right. And I used to have this sort of a fear motivator where I was like, oh, I have to like get down and do all the things because if I don't,
It's
then
it's it's a forcing mode, it's a doing mode, it's a pushing mode.
Mhm.
It's and I have
It
so
is.
much to share today from this
Oh, good.
conference I just went to
Oh,
too.
good.
Oh, about the brain and everything. So that energy of thinking you have to do is absolutely debilitating energetically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are parts of the brain that you use in the left hemisphere, by the way, which is so fascinating. And that is the ego. That is the non-trusting part.
Mhm.
That is the part of your brain that is very practical, preparation, planning, expectation, and energetically, it takes a lot of energy to keep up that momentum and
Yes.
pace.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's your full left brain. It's so fascinating, Eryn. I'm my mind is blown right now what I got to learn from these neurosciences. So it's your left hemisphere. And underneath that left side is truly the thinking below the line. So it is fear based, it is judgment based, it is the not enough, it's the guilt, it's so the emotion feeds this draining aspect. You need this side of your brain to work. But what happens is people get burnt out because they function only from this side.
Mhm.
And they don't know how to transition and balance between the right side of the brain and the emotion, which sits just down at the back here, to the right side of the brain. So the right side of the brain, oh, it's so fascinating. It's the vision, it's presence, it's trust is the emotion underneath this. And it's the innovation, it's the creativity,
Mhm.
it's the listening to that still small voice within you that has the answers,
Mhm.
and it's the grounding source. We
Mhm.
need to transition between both sides, but burnout is only fun because your body and your brain cannot function at this pace for long periods of time.
Yeah, and I think that's why I keep flirting with burnout because I, up until last year, like the end of last year, all I was doing was efforting, pushing, worrying. Yeah, like
It was all that left side of the
all
brain
of it.
function.
Yes. And then at the end of last year, I recognized like, okay, I'm gonna hit burnout and illness if I keep going this way. So I totally let go. And I was like, I'm gonna let the divine come and help me. And then all last spring, I was like, frick, I feel so relaxed. This is so weird. Like I feel so relaxed. Like, am I going into underdrive here? Like, what is going on?
This doesn't feel normal.
Yeah,
This is
it was
not
weird.
familiar right now. What's
Yes.
going on right now? Right?
Yes. Yes. And then but the results have been much better because like I've really increased my revenue, I've increased my team, I've increased my reach, like all of that is better, but I still I still was working at a way where like I was at max capacity all the time even though I'm bringing in other people, I'm not quite at the stage where I'm able to like start to soften and so then I keep flirting with burnout. Or at the moment, it's just fatigue, but I have had these really significant life circumstances in my family to navigate, which has been really hard. Um,
Emotionally.
Emotionally, yeah, energetically, like
Yes.
it's really been a lot to carry. Um, but I really see like as a CEO, as the visionary, as the director, as the conductor, like I need to really be in that right brain state. And like, you have to be able to keep the right brain operational in the real world, which is where the left brain would come in. But without that right brain focus or function,
Right.
uh, it would like you would end up just, I don't know, not really being able to like innovate or create new direction or
Actually get
see the
stuck
bigger
there.
picture.
So these neuroscientists, and there was many that spoke, and I took copious notes, but the condensed version is this, is that we are affected by external circumstances within both sides of our brain. This is the fascinating part to me. And this is the intentional piece, Eryn. So it's that I can be affected by, well, when a loss of a relationship, death, external circumstances we have no control over, right? Mm-hmm. So what fascinates me is the internal nourishment of our brain, is when those pressures and outside circumstances impact our ability to think, to feel, to take intentional action, is when this side needs to be completely elevated and present and have faith and trust and honor oneself and listen to that internal. So there needs to be an automatic switch over to consciously, intentionally go there, even if you don't want to, even if you want to allow the fear, the sadness, the doubt, the resentment, all those emotions on the left-hand side of the hemisphere that take us out. And all incredible leaders know how to manage their mindset. They know how to navigate their left brain, their right brain, communication and transition between both. And that's the power, that's the magic. And it doesn't happen overnight either. It's not like a light switch where I'm just going to turn this light on, I'm just going to turn it off. It doesn't, and they talked a lot about that too. It's a repeated daily discipline and consciousness.
It's like refocusing.
Yeah. And it's like a recalibration, right?
Recalibration, right.
It's and I add my own spiritual divine wisdom into everything I heard, because they're all in their head. Oh my goodness. So when you talk about the divine, this is what I think. This is all an experiment, Eryn. This success, it's just a big experiment. How success is going to be, what it's going to look like for you individually. So it's also a test. So, Eryn, how will you navigate through these external circumstances and issues? What's your decision? Will you consciously, intentionally take action to go from this side of your brain to this side?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Regardless of how you feel. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is emotional resilience. That's, and I just got truth bumps all over. There's one guy that I just fell in love with. I sat beside him at lunch. I talked to him at breakfast. I picked his brain. I mean, I had so much fun. Anyway, learned so much. But the truth is here, we all have this power and control to do this. And they spoke of many people that were in accidents that lost the left side of their brain. And through conditioning, they brought the right side over to the left, and vice versa. So they functioned here, and then this was gone. And so we are incredible, miraculous machines here as human beings. And we're not human doings. I mean, we really went through that. So the divine is here to support us. Yet we do not receive the success, Eryn, unless we surrender to leveling up this level of internal leadership on what we're taking responsibility for. It does require more as a CEO. It does require change, an elevated level of self-awareness on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
It's so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a really different kind of a role. And I think up until this point, I've mostly just been a worker. And I started being self-directed in the sense of being self-employed like decades ago, but I still was doing it as a worker, like not as a director of other people. And I mean, I have had lots of experience as a manager, like managing people in one way or another, and teaching where you're instructing people. So I've been in that kind of directive decision-making role in a lot of ways, but I was still in the mindset of like doing a job kind of thing.
Mhm.
And now I feel like moving into the CEO role and like actually taking proper ownership of it, it's a very different place
It's a
to,
different context.
it is.
It's a mindset position that you wake up in the morning. So, and it's a different way of functioning
Mhm.
that has a higher level of accountability in everything, in what you think, in what you feel, in how you make decisions,
Accountability to who?
to yourself
Mm.
mainly. And uh, it's it's like these lower vibration people, positions, situations really start cleaning themselves up. And the way I see it is this: every single thing that happens in my life is for me, to guide me and direct me. And it's truly my responsibility to navigate through life with courage, unapologetic courage, actually. And you're stepping into a higher level of frequency, I think, and vibration of leadership that's going to take your business to the next level. And it's also going to create even more inner peace, trust, and faith within yourself.
Mhm. I think so too. I do. I think so too. And so letting go of that like shame and guilt over having free time when other people are like doing all the tasks, you
They're,
know.
they're, they're left brain. They're like, it
Yeah.
has to be hard. I have to work really hard. That's the belief, right? I have to work really hard for this to work.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did for yourself and making that decision with the divine, you know what? I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to surrender to this. I, I know that I'm going to burn out if I keep going the way I have. So you made your own decision to do that. That is massive,
Yeah.
Eryn.
That was a paradigm shift. That was a
Yeah.
paradigm shift. Because like I've been spiritual since I was moving out of childhood and into adolescence. So that part is normal, but the degree of trust that I moved into was quite a radical difference.
Mhm.
Because I think even though I felt the divine, I oriented my life around spirituality, I didn't really trust that things would work out in my favor if I just let go. It was like if I let go, there's no one holding the steering wheel, so I can't let go. But then I just came to realize like it's a different kind of steering wheel. It feels different. Like it's different than when it's your hands on it, but it doesn't mean there's no one steering it just because it's a different kind of steering wheel. And so yeah, I feel like right now I'm having to remind myself, okay, trust, like the divine is saying this is a different role. You're moving into a different role. There's different requirements. There's different ways of executing it. There's different states of being to be in. Like just trust that it's okay. Trust that it is okay that the time that you're engaged with your work is like 3 hours in a day or 4 hours in a day, and the other hours are different kind of hours, you know?
So it's also a level of surrender every single day
Yeah,
to to trust the flow of how you're repositioning yourself in this leadership role. So it's like learning to walk in a new body.
yeah, it is.
I
It
know,
is. It
I
is.
know. And I guarantee you with my life, it is so much lighter, is so much easier. It has so much more vitality. Yet the requirement is to have trust and faith in this release or let go to lead that I talk about all the time. To just trust that it is going to be far beyond my vision, my big dreams of what this is. And it's the control, the non-trust, thinking that I'm the only person that can make this happen. That's the energetic drain too, Eryn, that you're not even consciously aware of.
Right.
Because the way it happens is you get these clues, and you probably have already been seeing them. There's things that'll happen naturally and organically, and you'll get this evidence and clues happen along the way and go, okay, well, that wouldn't have happened if I controlled that. It
That's
would have happened that way if
true.
I thought I had to control that. And the dichotomy that amazes me is thinking that I have to be in control is really ego based.
Mm-hmm.
It's very left brain, that I can't trust the divine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who do I really think I am?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't run the universe. I mean, that's what I say to myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, who do you think you are, Carolyn? Don't be
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's this, oh, I just got truth bumps again. It's this asking, allowing, and receiving, those three words. I had that as a mantra for a whole year recently. Ask, allow, and receive. And release, recalibrate, renew, and you'll have energy just surging through your body of inspiration and vitality like you've never felt before. And you're going to be like, well, this is good. Okay. So it's the asking. You're a great leader because you do know how to manage people. You do know how to delegate in a way that they can take that level of responsibility on themselves.
Yeah. And
That's one of
feel
your
empowered in the
gifts.
process. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that I'm good at is helping people feel empowered and like what they're doing makes a difference. And hiring good people who are good at what they do. And I'm not threatened by people being better at their role than I would be. Like I don't have any ego tied up with that. I just feel like thank God you're better at it than I am. Like let's,
So
'cause
that's that right brain. So
right.
I think that this training that's going to go on daily, minute by minute, hour by hour, week by week, day by day, is going to be you transitioning because you have habitually been over here
Yeah.
on the left-hand side of your brain. And it's created great results, but you can't maintain that.
No.
It's an impossibility physically, emotionally, and energetically.
Yeah.
You and you're not supposed to either. So that's the secret. We're supposed to release that. It still needs to happen. Still needs to have that practical preparation and planning with no fear though.
Mm-hmm.
With this side of the brain connecting to that planning and preparing in this trust in yourself, in the divine, in your people, in your dream team. And the only way that you can step up to be what I call now the love inspired leader is to spend time over here in that vision, in that listening to that internal voice of wisdom and guidance and phrases that pay. I mean, I get phrases, I get visions, I get people, I receive. The only way I can hear those things is when I take that time to make space for grace. It's the only time. If you're over here, it'll saunter right by. It'll be like you can't even hear it. And I think you're so smart. I mean, you know how to track on this side, you know how to track on that side. Some people don't have that skill. You do. You spent a lot of time understanding your own connection to the divine, to that. And I think you're just going to be elevating that trust in that too. And you'll get gifts. And I recommend to celebrate them. Tell me what they are. Text me. I'll celebrate with it. Those are my favorite things to hear about. Send me an email, leave me a voicemail, do a video, send it to me, because those are the gifts that fuel your fire for desire and clarity and purpose and reason. You know, I mean, you started this thing from an idea. I mean, let's be real here. Look at what you've done. Look at the lives you've made a difference in. Look, I mean, not only to women going through that journey, but all these massage therapists that are believing in you, following you, being guided by you, changing their lives. So what you're learning now, this will be a part of your academy, because they will get to where you are. That's the cool thing too. And this will be, you know, phase 4, phase 5, wherever you are right now, because it's leadership, daily discipline that changes the game. And so did you do your 2 lists, the things that rejuvenate you and the things that drain, those draining forces? Did you do that?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay, so because that's one of the most powerful things I've done in my life, Eryn. It changed the decisions that I make. It changed the way I think. It supported me to clean up. That's all you're doing right now. You're cleaning up. You're getting those dust bunnies that are in the corners that you don't even know are there, that are accumulating. And you're just going to be cleaning up your mind, cleaning up your thoughts, cleaning up to have more clarity, more focus, more purpose, and more intentional action to take. So the 2 lists were the rejuvenating aspects, forces that really fill you up, that restore your soul, that fuel that fire of desire in growing this business. And what happens to Eryn, I was thinking about you when I saw this too, is when you've been doing it for a while, you lose the connection to the reason. So we didn't talk about this last time, but this is intuitively what came up for me when I was planning for this meeting. Are you still completely connected to your reason for doing this, the meaning?
Yeah, I think it's a central sun, and it's the thing that has kept me going. I've talked about this with other people before, because without that big why, you can either just give up and be like, it's too hard, and just kind of fall apart, or you can get pulled off in different directions. And when I was in the coaching program that I was in prior,
Yes.
then one of the things that they were doing was they didn't try hard, but they did bring it up a few times. Like, if you broadened your niche and just talked about massage therapists finding a niche, you would make way more money. And I was like, but then I would be off purpose and I wouldn't be doing the work that I'm here to do. And without that central sun, I would not last. Like there's no way. So the work that you and I did at the beginning of getting really clear on my why has continued to fuel that central sun, which is really amazing because it's like everything that I'm orienting myself around, it's got this ball of light on the inside and it keeps it, it's got like a magnetic pull, so it kind of keeps everything together and it's got energy, so it keeps it like alive and functioning. Yeah.
And that's what's connected to the divine, my darling.
Mhm.
And I know, I knew then, like I know now, that that is the plug-in. That's the source. That's the and it's got more tentacles to it than you even know right now, too. So it's got more levels of understanding in its reasoning, its structure, its meaning and purpose. And my experience has been the more I surrender deeper and deeper and deeper to this calling and have the willingness to let go to lead. There's a lot of things to clean up. It's mentally, there's so many different levels. And the the reason becomes even clearer. So can you share with me what your reason is now, what that red sun is, so I can feel that and tap into that with you?
Yeah. There's a there's a discordant note in the symphony of humanity. There's tones that are off key, and that's people suffering, that's people in pain, that's people feeling hatred towards themselves, and they don't need to be feeling that. And so, I'm here to help create those resources so that they feel good about themselves, they feel in harmony again. It's a way of healing an aspect of humanity and assisting with that um like people coming back into tune with themselves, coming back into alignment. And all the times when I felt like I was going to give up, I would just think about all the people who wouldn't get help if I just gave up, and I couldn't live with that. I just couldn't abide it. I was like, I just can't put it down because they can't put their burden down. They need someone to help them be able to do this. And when the other coach was trying to get me to just think about massage therapists in general, I was like, I don't really care that much. Like, not to be cold, but like, I don't really care that much. Like, I care that this little avenue that the divine gave me of
Mhm.
like, Eryn, this is your role to fill. Like, I care about fulfilling that role. So I feel like there was some divine guidance, like,
Definitely.
here, this is yours. This is your little area to sweep up.
Mhm.
And it's a part of my collective service to humanity to, help us ascend and become healthier and happier people. So this discordant note is no longer there, and we're all in harmony in a way that was not present before. Yeah.
And you're a part of that solution. You're
Yeah.
a part of that answer.
Yeah.
You're a part of guiding those individuals
Hmm.
to be in harmony and
Hmm.
alignment
Hmm.
with what matters most in their lives and within themselves. And I think that your gift from the divine was given to you, and you do too.
Hmm. I do. And I feel like all the experiences that I had in life leading up to this were preparation for stepping into the role that I'm in now. And they laid the groundwork that allowed me to take on the role that I am in
Yeah.
and to run with it. So yeah, I feel like at a base level, it's really simple. It was like the divine just said, like, there's a discordant note in the symphony of humanity and it needs to be tuned.
Mhm.
And you need to save yourself in the process. You need to save your body. And then assist in creating like harmony where there isn't harmony. And it's grown into things that I didn't know at the time. Like I didn't know at the beginning it would revolve so much around training therapists. I just thought it was going to be working directly with the women in a certain way. I didn't really know how. But yeah, it's grown to be as much about the therapist as it is about the people that they're helping. And both people were burned out, were feeling in pain, were feeling discouraged, were feeling under supported, under resourced, and so
Underappreciated.
underappreciated, yeah, invisible often, like and just, creating validity and creating resources and creating conversation and dialogue and just sort of making something out of nothing. And I'm an inventor, so it's good for my inventor skills to have something that you have to kind of like make out of thin air.
Exactly. And what I see is in this vision that you have and that you have had, because I know your visions. I've watched them come into form and shift into the next one. And it's very beautiful to witness that kind of bravery and courage. And you own your role as being a mentor and a guide. You own it with grace and elegance without the me, I ego, the left side. Your foundation of serving from your highest self has aspects of that left side of the brain because you have resourced those things that you share. But where you function from, where your connection is with your massage therapist, with your community, is you're simply sharing with them the journey that you've been on.
Yeah.
And they believe in you and they trust you.
Yeah.
And they've been looking for a long time, just like you were, searching for their why, their reason, their meaning. And over time with this academy, what I see is these individuals are finding their place of contribution, but they get the resources and everything that you have created, which is brilliant. So the whole expanded ripple effect of all of this is, I think, supporting humanity to be in harmony because you're teaching them how to be healers too, Eryn.
How to
And
be healers and how to um, honor themselves, how to feel okay with going through challenges and finding ways through. Sometimes they're small little steps, sometimes they're bigger jumps, sometimes you blow your own mind, but
yes,
all of it is valid and it's all rooted in service. And one of the things that my last course that I taught is 6-day intensive, and one of the ladies, it was on the first day, and she was like, I'm so amazed at the lack of arrogance in the teachings here. Like so often, if you go to a massage therapy course, there's arrogance embedded in all the teachings. And like this has a complete lack of arrogance. And I was like, thank you. That's true because I'm thinking about the co-creation of, what we're doing and the collaboration and, we're all bringing our skills to the table to make something happen. And it's not a me better than you approach. It's an us together approach. And so there really isn't a place for that kind of hierarchical, mindset or perception. It's like what we're doing together. And I think that creates some safety
yeah, me too.
in the community, in the environment. And I know I run my business that way too, although I am aware like it's my business. So ultimately what I say is the final decision, but I don't run it in this like I'm better than you way. And especially because I'm hiring people who are better at what they do than I am, that takes out a lot of ego in the first place. Because if I got all like offended with the fact that they were better than I am, then Like, that would be such a roadblock. It wouldn't get the best out of them. It would stop the business from being able to grow and thrive. And so I like the fact that they're better at what they're doing than I am. And I'm coming to terms with the fact that I don't have to play all the different instruments. Like for so many years, I was playing all the instruments.
Well, I think yeah, you need to.
You go through
I
a
think
phase.
in this symphony, you need to know each instrument.
Mhm.
When you get to a place that you can release that and let it go to lead even more, it is creating that extra space that you can come back over here and go, okay, that's looked after. I can trust that. Okay, so what's most important here? What's next? What's the innovation? And so you have this innate ability to be able to hear the internal voice of wisdom and guidance within yourself. And that is a gift, Eryn. I think that once you just really just give yourself that permission, because you're doing it already, to hear what's there, and you clean up these draining forces within yourself, that you're going to hear even more.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a higher level of self-awareness. I think this leadership that you're moving into, this new role, it's acute, and there's no more denying taking responsibility for everything, every single thing, what you think, what you do, what happens. And is once you start releasing those things that deplete you, even one thought can change everything. One single thought. And my experience in the last few years, because we haven't seen each other, is that I'll be functioning in a situation or a challenging situation, and the way I think is completely different, is so calm, so grounded, so clear, so focused in regards to what the next step is, what's the solution, what's the answer. So, by making this commitment, it's far beyond even your current imagination in inner peace, calm, vitality, clarity, focus. And doing this exercise of what rejuvenates me and fills me up and fuels my fire of desire, it has to be specific, because then you know how to make that happen. But also just to be so self-aware that you take on the commitment, Eryn, that you are moving into by releasing those. You're already doing this, but I'm asking you to do it even more intimately within yourself and be detailed and specific. And this is both personal as well as professional.
Oh, okay.
It's both.
Oh.
This is what I did for about 2 months, I just had a full scrap of paper lined down the middle, rejuvenating on the other side, draining. And anything I was doing, I said, okay, goes on the list. Okay, I am swimming right now. And then that's going on the list.
Okay.
You're leveling up. You're right. It is a CEO, but it's I think it's a chief energetic officer.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, energy is everything, Eryn, honestly. And when you realize that you have this opportunity to really refuel yourself, it's like, oh, well, all right already. So it's about reclaiming that vitality in your life.
Love it.
And journaling is a part of it. And so is those recordings. So have you recorded the journals you've written in a video series for 2 weeks yet?
Yes. Every time that I do the writing,
Good girl.
I do the video right afterwards.
Good girl, good girl, good girl.
Um, so one question that I had about the writing
Yes.
is it something that I'm supposed to be focused on like work things, or is it just in general,
It
whatever
is, I'll tell you, a good
coming up?
question. So because of who you are and where you are and what you're desiring to experience in your life and your business, I suggest to focus your journal on what the divine has to say to you each day. And it is both personal and professional, because who we are is who we are. And my experience of doing this for the last, I don't know, 8 months, is it's a personal growth journey in witnessing yourself. So I have a title. After I've written, I have a title I put at the top of the page. And I start with Dearest Divine, and then I have an insight. Or so it's like having this, remember that book, Conversations with God or whatever. It's like having this conversation, but you're having this internal reflection and understanding of where you are, where you've come from, and how you've created these mechanisms and protocols and practices to live and lead from this next level. And when you decide to watch the videos, have you decided when you're going to watch them yet?
No. And like a lot of them are topics that I just don't know that I want to revisit, like
I'm
death.
going to suggest you do, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to suggest it. And this is all I want you to do for this first run, because you'll get more focused, more focused, more focused. And it'll be like this laser beam to your highest self. It will. That's what happens. And so I just want you to watch them one after another. And I just want you to this is what I did, take this objective perspective on who you are. So observe it and write out, if you want to type it out or write it out, what your observation is of yourself. So what you see as your strengths, where you see the gaps and the limitations, where you see yourself just not in alignment with what matters most to who you are and this chief energetic officer, and where you deplete yourself, because you'll feel it energetically when you witness yourself. There'll be things that come to your mind. Just write them down. It is one of the most powerful things I've done in 10 years. And it's very simple. And my recordings now are like so in alignment with absolutely everything that I desire, my intention, my life, my purpose. It's just beautiful. And then there's days where I record it and I think, nope, in my head, absolutely not. So I know I'm functioning from that left side, right? So when you witness yourself, you can feel energetically when you're in alignment, because it's such deep truth and it's got resonance. And that's what lands for you and other people. So going through this journey, I guarantee you that your training, your speaking, everything. I spoke on a stage, huge ballroom in Boston. It was the most incredible experience. I was so present I did not have one single thought of fear. Nothing. It was the most incredible experience. I got to MC the event too. And that's what I want for you, to have that kind of grounded confidence and clarity and calm confidence. It's about the grounded, calm trust in the divine. I just let everything go about 4 days before. I mean, I did a lot of preparing and planning and everything before, tons actually. I knew what I wanted. But to me, this is what love-inspired leadership is, because it's the only way that we can build that big dream you have to impact more people's lives. Because when I have this gift and I have the opportunity to impact more people's lives, that's where the abundance is too. The more abundance you're going to create with this business, the bigger team that you're going to have, and then the more people you can make a bigger difference with.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an evolution and expansion of that. It's totally connected to gratitude, totally connected to your vision, your reason, and your why. So I'm so glad you're so connected to your why still, because that's your ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I would be where I am now if I wasn't so connected to it, because there's so many times where I was like, I just want to give up. Like, this is so hard. I just want to give up, and like chronically learning way beyond my skill set, my comfort zone, doing things that I'm like, I have no idea how this is going to work. I'm just doing it. Or I'm like so fucking tired. It would be so much easier just to like be a graphic designer and, put in my hours per day and like nothing else outside of that. And then I was like, I can't drop the ball. Like,
No,
there's just this
it's
discordant
this
hope that
yearning.
has to be healed. Like, it just has to, and I'm a part of it. I'm not the only person that's making it happen, but I'm a facilitator, and this was given to me as a role, and I said yes, and I just can't not fulfill. Like, I can't drop it. Like, even though right now it'd be like so much easier.
You know what the wildest part of that statement is? It wouldn't be.
It not in the long run. In the long run, it'd be way harder, because then I would be thinking like, oh, I didn't do the thing. I let it go. Now I've got this thing hanging over my head of like, what if, and not fulfilling my purpose, and took the easy route and quit. And yeah, it would be like a way downhill. So in the long run, it'd be way harder. It's true. In the short run, it seems like you could put down the burden and it would be easier, but um yeah, and this is
You would
another thing.
always,
Like, I've gotten a level of success. Like, I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing, because I've got now, like, the ball is rolling, but now
right, the
it's like,
machine is working.
yeah, it's working. But now it's like, well, if I'm tired, like, how does that all keep going? Uh, but
I
I
think,
think that's where team comes in. Like, you
yes.
have to have your team set up so that they can keep the ball rolling.
So in reclaiming this vitality within yourself, you are 100% committed, right? You are
Totally.
all in,
All in.
correct?
All in.
Okay.
All in.
So part of that, so what's your journey been like in the last 2 weeks? Because we talked about this, and this is so powerful too, is to own the language that you speak and the language that you think. So it either adds to my life, my business, my energy, or it takes away from my energy, my life force. So, how has that awareness and discipline been for you in the last 2 weeks? What have you noticed?
Uh, I have noticed that I've been more focused on the good parts of the situation, like family being together, having geographic flexibility so I could show up for my family, of noticing resilient characteristics in my niece and nephews, my ability to stay connected to my practice, those things that keep me going, feeling, even though I was going through a breakup at the same time, which was totally unexpected, still being able to show up for my people, my my students, my team, my family, myself.
Right.
That's kind of a lot of the approach, and not being hard on myself when I'm
Yes.
tired. It's like there's there's a lot that's been going on. Like, of course, you're gonna feel fatigue from that.
Yes.
And
And
like, it's okay to rest. It's okay to rest.
well, can we reframe that?
Yeah.
How would you like to reframe it?
It's imperative that you rest.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's so funny. There's this like guilt thing all tied up in it, which I am recognizing like it's definitely something to evolve past. Yeah.
It's a neural pathway that is this is the way I look at it. And I compare it to nature. It's a neural pathway that's been built. It's kind of like being in the jungle. You've already swathed that path, right? So, and the only thing you need to do in building a new neural pathway of self-care, of self-love, of self-encouragement, of self-truth is to have a replacement. So it's daily disciplines to be aware of when I have that thought, to be the witness. That's interesting. Wow. And then just state. So what did you just say? Say it again.
It's imperative to rest.
It's imperative for me to rest and rejuvenate and create resilience.
Yeah. And I think like getting rid of that push pull of like guilt versus need, that push pull is siphoning energy. It's
Well, it's beyond what you know. And
Mhm.
that's why you're so tired.
Mhm.
It's because you're habitually thinking that way. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm just, oh, hold on. I'm,
You got Marielle starting.
hold on. I'm going to just, uh,
Hi, Marielle's Fathom Note Taker.
I'm just going to take her out here for a minute. Remove. There we go. Don't report. Okay. So I just want to help you to realize that you're recommitting to yourself and you are recommitting to this new level of love inspired leadership for yourself. And the rewards are far beyond what you can even imagine at this moment. The inner peace is worth it, worth the effort, worth the awareness. And so I'm going to leave you with this. I'll send you some to-dos after in an email, like I always do. But I want to leave you with this. So every moment we have this opportunity of self-awareness. What am I focusing on? What am I thinking about? That has an effect on energy beyond your imagination. So I want you to have an acute, higher level of self-awareness on every thought. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to emotions. We have our own ability to manage our emotions. And this is a fact. This is what the scientists said. Anything we feel, sadness, anger, grief, is a 90-second loop. When we embrace that feeling and that emotion and we allow it to move through for 90 seconds, that's the length of time of it. The reason it goes longer is we circle back to that thought and it goes again. So suffer, suffer, suffer. 90 seconds. And I'm living this. So when you need to cry, let her rip, Eryn. When you need to be happy, get around that place there and do a happy dance, put on some music, go for it. So it's 90 seconds and it's a discipline and it's a commitment. Okay.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm so proud of you. And and just right from the divine. And I want you to tell me once you've watched those videos, what your reaction and your response is. That's my follow through for you. I was shocked when I saw. I also saw the gaps and the limitation. And just to witness yourself as a third party objective perspective. So release the criticism, release the judgment, release anything below the line. Just accept all of it with an open mind, an open heart, and let the divine speak to you on what your next steps can be. Because you're ready.
I think so. Yeah, I know so, which is why I'm seeking out assistance and making this leap over, because I recognize like I came to a level of limitation that's not in alignment with this growth. And so got to do things differently.
And know that whatever you're learning, whatever you're doing, you get to share it with all your little children in your academy. This is where I was. This is what happened. You get to speak from truth.
It's true.
I believe sometimes when we go through hard things and have to change, it's only to pass it on.
Mhm.
It's only to make a difference in someone else's life.
Yeah, pay it forward. Love it. Thank you, my dear.
Okay, when do you want to connect again? What time frame would that be on this top? The recording I'll send you.